Thank you very much, my dear HR friends and colleagues. Thank you for joining on this important topic. I'm sure we all must be in need of understanding the details at our respective offices. Business Connect and labor new labor codes, which will be shared by the eminent speaker to whom we all know. But I'm here to introduce him, Mr. Sanjay Suthar. He's advisor, facilitator for over 35 years of experience in HR, IR, and OE. He has been an industry relations professional for over 35 years, primarily across large manufacturing industrial organizations, facilitator and advisor at Performance First Excellence Unlimited with expertise in HR and as a profit center, employee relations, organizational excellence, TQM, TQE, a lot many things. Proven leader in complex industrial relations, handling long-term settlements, large-scale union negotiations, and high-impact disciplinary and change management initiatives. Invited as a faculty and trainer, he has delivered more than 200 sessions in HR, IR, OE, and he has been here with us also at AMA. Thank you very much, our collaborators. The main collaborators, I would request the leaders of these collaborators on stage and help me in welcoming him. HR Milestone, our collaborator, HR Circle, and HR Manufacturing Gujarat. I'll request one representative or two representatives come on stage and let us welcome him. Uh, this photograph will be for all of us. One or two representatives from both. Come. We kept this hall keeping in the mind that there are about 367 registrations, but unfortunately everybody has not turned up. I'm sure they will watch it at our YouTube, which we will be having it later on, and you can also spread the YouTube link to your colleagues and friends who could not join today. Thank you very much. Sanjay sir, all yours.
Hello. I'm audible? Yeah, very good. Let me start. Should I start, ma'am? Should I start? Can I start? Okay. So, good evening, friends. Good evening. So, let me say thanks to AMA and all the other three prominent HR forum for designing such a program with a very good subject and arranging lot many things and inviting me and allowing me to interact with you on a subject which has a lot of national importance. It has. It's okay. Okay. Am I audible? Okay. Very good. So, oh, very good. नीचे रख दूं? Okay. Yes, okay. So, friends, I am very sure all of you are now must have gone into details of what new labor codes are. Yes, no. Okay. So you are undergoing a lot of through a social media, different trainings, वगैरह वगैरह. So काफी कुछ on a new labor code, the things are going on. Okay. And I'm further sure that you would have developed basic attitude to understand what labor codes. Basic attitude. Correct, no? But I have a question to ask you. That's a bad habit I have. To ask, in the beginning itself, I'm asking you a question. Which word out of these 3-4 words sounds important for you? There are only two answers. There are no more than two answers. Which are they? One is, out of these 4-5 words, which word, according to you, is most important for HRIR? Connect is very important. Okay. So what is it that I'm supposed to do? Is to establish a connect. Okay. And I'll, during the next 75 minutes, I'll give you a lot of examples of a disconnect. huge disconnect which has happened over 100 years of legal history that you and me have. I'm sure all of you are smiling. So you know what is required today is to sublimate that disconnection and reconnect to the topic that way. Are you all with me? Okay. Number one. Number two is more important than connect is the business. Oh, you're not supposed to connect it to the different world. It's world of a business which you and me are supposed to connect new labor codes to a business. I'll tell you, this is my 115th program across India, and I've traveled to 10 different states and 3 union territories, and I've interacted with almost, you can say, 9,000-10,000 people, including that of chartered accountants, company secretaries, union guys. Your and my understanding is completely different when you hear union. I'm very sure nobody's from union. When you look at the version of law of enforcement officer, they are different. When you interact with the student, I interacted with the student, he says, I want very good marks and I want a very good package. The purpose of law differs. Okay, he is not bothered about what happens there in the board of director, what happens with the union, what happens with XYZ, but the purpose of law is different. There is no purpose of a business for him. Okay, now what consultant does, he has a different purpose. Okay, I'm a consultant, I'm a trainer, so I avoid difficult questions. Okay, so what happens to these laws when you interact with the advocate? Their version is different. I'll give you an example. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to establish a connect. 4 rehearsals as to what are you going to talk to such a great man. You're paying 4 lakhs rupees to an interaction with such a senior person. So you have to gear up understanding how do I represent my case to an advocate to get maximum mileage out. Maximum mileage. So when you look at labor laws, when you look at labor code, when you look at verdicts, look at as if you are at a managerial level, as if you are a business head. Let us not look at it in compliance so karwa. Okay, so you should not be happy when you feel compliance ho gaya. Let us rest in. That is to understand the books of law giving different perspective. Okay, so today we are going to talk less about new labor code and more about business and connect. Okay, the reason being we have very limited time. Only 75 minutes to talk about. I am not very sure I'll be able to complete all 450 sections in 75 minutes. It's almost you call either Sanjay Suthar or somebody else. You won't be able to justify the role, is it? Are you all with me? Okay. So what we are supposed to do? What we are supposed to do? Understand business. I have a question to ask you. What do you mean by business? What do you mean by business? The perception which I have received from different collaborators of HR, I would like to present here. Okay, I have made certain, gist of what I have understood from people, a meaning of a business. Now you'll stand up and say, hey, what a silly kind of word we're trying to deliberate here. But we must understand what is the meaning of business to understand what is it there in the new labor code, so that the business is flourishing. I'll play a game of maybe certain minutes. I'll distribute a mail. Whosoever is ready can stand up and say, yes, yes. Exercise karwa taiyar. So let us see who can do that. So what is the meaning of business? I have reproduced what I have understood from people. I am not trying to add my understanding to that. What is 6M? Man, material, machine, vagara, vagara. It's an old theory. So nothing to do something, nothing to do, nothing great in this. Now, somebody who's a chartered accountant says, business is nothing but whatever reflects in a balance sheet is a business. Are you all with me? Correct, no? So you have all rights to differ. Huh? I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to prove something here in 75 minutes. It is you who will convince yourself, go out of this room and influence the management after you understand business and connect. labor codes are available in social media and what last slide I'll show you. But let me read understanding which I had gathered from people on business. What is that? Next one is earning is a business. Yes. Money. Money is more important than business. Correct? No? Yes. So what is next? The next one is somebody said making money is more important than money. Okay, wow. Earning has a lot of connection to making money. Kitla paisa kamayo. That is more important than money, out of which is out of six. In other words, it is known as the profit. Okay, but somebody stood up and said ROCE. How many of you know what is ROCE? Please write it down. Madam. Return on capital employed. बाद में मैंने लिखा है percentage. More important is the percentage, not ROCE. Okay, so ROCE is more important. The last one, which I have understood, is the margin improvement. So what is margin improvement? Anybody would like to react on this? What is margin improvement? This exactly is there in labor codes. Labor codes is first called human resources is a part of articulation of labor code. Anyone who have read this? As Shabda, human resources is used in the labor codes. We were not a part of, human resources not a part of labor laws when we were reading the labor laws which exist today. So this is the first time human resources, where is it? If you don't know the answer, please write it down, go back to your place or Google it and tell me. It is a part of the definition of a contractor. Okay, the contractor can now supply human resources as well. Then addition in the articulation of new labor code. Okay, so this is out of the 6 that we are seeing there on the screen, and the 8th one is improvement, is what the additional 3 M's are. Our question to the floor. આમાં બીજા 3 કયા M add કરશો? That is what the question is. Which 3 would you like to add to expand 6M and make 9? This is what exactly a labor code is. So one is a management. We are professionals. Are you? What we do is we capitalize provisions of a law and we influence the management for strengthening business. Okay. So what are we? We are HR management, we are IR management, we are law management. We don't stand up before the judiciary and start arguing. We never do that. Do we do that? We never do that. So which are all the 3 M's? One is, you can write it down. One is the measurement, management, measurement, and margin improvement. These 3 are otherwise available there in the new labor code. I'll give you an example. Okay, I'll give you an example. Any question on this? The next one is, this is at a floor level, this is at a business level. At a national level, what is important? Well, what is the meaning of business? $1 trillion is a business. So what are we trying to become? Using labor code, what are we trying? What is the national goal? National goal is to become $5 trillion. Okay. Now what is important is the GDP. What is GDP? Gross domestic, you know it. Okay. So this is what business is. What is next one is? What is EODB? Ease of doing business. Ease of doing business. Next one is what? We're trying to become largest economy using the labor code. Say the bottom line remains the labor code. We're trying to understand business at a different level. This is what exactly a business. Okay. And then the last one is, what is FDI? Foreign direct investment. Gaikalno newspaper vachu and all insurance 100% are permitted to, deploy money in India. This is, we are opening doors to come, non-Indians to come to Indians, attracting them, saying that we are very good in ease of doing business. Correct, no? Are you all with me? Want to add something to this? I would like to listen to two people who will add value to this. Who would like to add value to this? So your and my job is what? This value addition is your and my job. Yes, no. Okay. So what exactly would you like to add to this? Now finally we are what? We alone are not supposed to implement the law. It is. Can you do that? No, but the section. I know all 450 sections. Can I implement this? The answer is no. So what is important in the whole scenario is stakeholders' perception. And finally, we have named ourselves as the HRBP. Now the question is, are we really? No, I can see somebody smiling. Are we really BP? Are we really? Do we really understand business? The answer is yes. No, let us not take it other way around. Okay. So are we really HRBP? These slides is getting circulated to all. Don't worry. Don't waste time in taking photographs. Pay attention to what I'm saying. Confront with me. Get yourself convinced. And go outside and may influence the management. That, sir, now we have very we can accelerate our business, and I am the person, I can support CFD very well. This you stand up and start claiming, you cannot run business without me. Can we do that? Yes, no? Very much. We can very well do that, provided if you neutralize the disconnect that we have established over past 100 years. Are you all with me? So there are disconnects. I'll give you an example. I've read labor laws for 100 and more years. The first labor law which came into an existence, what was that? The law which came first into an existence governing labors per se. It was 1855, the Fatal Accidents Act. Those days it had 4 sections. Today also it has 4 sections. Okay, and now after that, 1881 was the first Factories Act. How many of you know? Just hand. You know, Factories Act first came into existence. Thereafter, the Trade Dispute Act came. Okay. Thereafter, Industrial Dispute Act came before independence. So the person who designed the labor laws had an impact of non-Indian scenario under the influence of the Britishers and all that. Those days, what was connect? The different connect. I am trying to explain you connect. Now I've understood business. Any input, your understanding on a business. So the day we understand my own concept of a business, the journey of implementation of a new labor code becomes slightly different. Slightly different. Okay, and then we are trying to contribute aggressively, assertively to the management, to the board of directors, to the business, to the balance sheet, to 9Ms, all the definitions. It is you and me, when understand better, and any input and any perception of a business with respect to perception of HR. These are all non-HR person perceiving the business. So what do you think? What exactly a business according to you? What is a business? Do you think it's that difficult subject that I can't describe? I have given you different perceptions. Okay, I've interacted. Now, how does union perceives business to be? It's a different, ball game altogether. Okay. So what do you mean by business? I would expect 2 answers to enrich at least my knowledge. What is the meaning of business? So it is there in the labor laws. You have read bonus, gross profit. This is where from the bonus starts. Correct. The first step of a calculation of bonus starts from gross profit. Okay. There are many such provisions which talks about business in today's labor laws. Slightly refined in new labor code. Any perception? I'm trying to help you out to respond back to me as to what exactly business connect. 2 responses, then I'll go to the next connect. Making profit is already there. Making money is already. I am giving an example. This is what the perception which I have developed. For example, my balance sheet says that my revenue is 5,000 crore, but my profit is 2 crore. Is that making money? Then what is making money? But there is a profit. I have made money 2 crore out of 5,000 crore, the turnover, the revenue which I have. So what is making money? What is money? And what? Yes, yes, yes. Okay, very good, excellent. That is one perception, but I would love to hear the HR perception of a business. Why are we here today? What is the purpose? Is to develop an attitude to implement labor laws, to impact, to have a very good impact on the business. Are we together? I am ready to prove that we are much behind, and there are certain other professions which are much marching much ahead than what I am doing today. Are you all with me? Please differ from me. I am not here to say, "Nane sir, tab bol rahe ho sab barabar hai." No, 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 no. There's nothing like that. You're all supposed to differ from me, have a new concept designed by your own thinking, and then carry out the journey. I'm not going to talk about section 3, 4, 5 of IR code and wages definitions. This is not the topic today. My topic is business and connect. Then you already have learned a new labor code. I'm very sure you would have gone at least one training on a new labor code. If not, we are going to arrange a few more programs. Okay, but let us decide as to what this tool is going to help HR per se. It has to strengthen IR HR management skills using the provisions of. Are you all with me? Correct? No? So where is the connect? So before we get into details of a connect, let me hear from you which are all the disconnect, which are all the areas where we are not connected, disconnected with the labor laws. So we're trying to look back my area of OFI. What is OFI? What is OFI? This is slightly a bad habit I have of asking you audience a question rather than audience asking me question. So what is OFI? No, by asking, I'm trying to accelerate thinking. Get into a business and then start thinking maybe right or wrong. We're not trying to prove that you are wrong and I am right. No, that is not the equation here. And that is not the stage is for. Okay, so what is OFI? It is opportunity for improvement. Obviously, correct? No, but it is not. It is not opportunity for. It is opportunity for implementation. Which are all the provisions which we have today and are not implemented? I think you know better. Yes, no. તો એવા કેટલી કાયદાની જોગવાઈઓ છે જેનું આપણે આજની તારીખમાં ઇમ્પ્લિમેન્ટેશન નથી કર્યું. So how do we implement labor code? This is a journey from here to here to here, and the last is new labor code. The last is new labor. Until and unless I am very sound on my history, I'm guaranteeing you where OFI is possible. Any question on this? I would expect maybe the silliest question. This will accelerate thinking that will allow others to think as well. One question, two questions, please. I got only two responses on a business, but I would love to have OFI. No, there is one provision called appointment letter. How many of you have read? All of you? Oh, appointment letter is now becoming compulsory. 1, 2, 3, 4. There are even the government is so shrewd telling HR that this should be the format of appointment. Anathi kharab biju so hai. I am trying to be critical to myself. Critical to myself. You want to learn? Somebody is a lawmaker to tell you appointment letter ka draft. Sir, it is very good to laugh at myself. Correct? No? Then find out which are all the areas where I have an opportunity for. What do you do with new labor code? You're supposed to do a lot of things, making sure that I'm with law and strengthening management hands, giving them an opportunity to accelerate their business. This is what I joined one company on the day one. The CMD said, मेरे को एक undertaking लिख के दो, तुम्हारे कारण कंपनी में लफड़ा नहीं होगा. तुम्हारे कारण, I don't want any problem from HR, IR, legal, networking, these, that. That is your problem. Don't come to me crying. The day you do that, please, the gate is open. He was so shrewd telling me that you have to capitalize the provisions of a law and strengthen my hand without demanding money. Don't demand money from me. What is he said? Don't demand money. You work without no budget for you. So he said on the day first, I am trying to establish a connect of new labor code to a business. What did he said? He said that, we had a system of, designing a KPA. And all the KPA which are designed by HR, one KPA, there was a rule that one KPA will be decided by CMD, the owner, the entrepreneur. He used to, he was supposed to sit for half an hour, have a discussion on what you're doing, these, that, whatever. And then he gave me one target, which was otherwise very impossible. He said, though I'm a consultant, I'm saying, he said, remove all consultants from the factories. Can you do that? If that assignment is given to you, including, he gave me only one freedom, saying that you can appoint only an advocate. Because you are not a competent authority to appear before the judiciary and try to prove your case. No. So there I'll support you. Can you remove this? And the cost of consultant in that company, those days was 3 crore rupees per annum. 3 crore rupees. So what I'm supposed to do? I'm supposed to learn labor laws. I'm supposed to learn verdicts. I'm supposed to learn intricacies of law. I'm using this word. Intricacies. Guchwada jene ki baat. Spashta Gujarat. I'm supposed to learn intricacies of law and capitalize all negatives which prevails. According to me, it is negative. It is otherwise not. But capitalize those provisions and strengthen the hand of management. That is what the connect is. That is what the business is. So it took 15 months to remove consultants from the factory. So then the last day I said, after 1.5 years, I said, sir, why are you doing that? Well, you supposed to know your job. It does not mean if I assign you some, give you some work, and the next day you'll come with, sir, our consultant, kya kaam kariye aapse? You are not a coordinator. You are a knowledge hub for me to understand the labor laws perspective in a right fashion, capitalize the provisions and make money for me. Paisa banao na. Supposed to earn from whatever professions you are. This is what exactly business for me. That was my first KPA. There are certain other KPAs. If the time comes, the question asks, I'll do that. Okay. Now your input. I said I have spent almost, I'd say 15 minutes, 20 minutes on this. So your input on the first slide. Your reactions on the first slide. How do you look like? How do business? On connect, I am giving you certain more connect. Okay, certain more principle where you will be able to connect. So your reaction on the first slide and my input on half an hour's time. Okay, any reaction on this? And I would prefer if you don't agree with me. I would love to do that. Okay, so any disagreement, any new thing, any value addition on this? Your understanding of a business, commercial implication. You know what is commercial implication of labor laws? The labor laws, there's a lot of money there inside. Okay, I'll give you an example. What was the minimum wages in the year 2022? And what is the minimum wages to 2025, December? There is a 60% jump in the 60% jump. We had one specific program. How do you neutralize the impact of wage rise? How many of you signed settlement with the union? Okay, when you sign a settlement with the union, you gave jump of a 12%, but the government is giving you 60%. This is a commercial impact of labor laws. Yes, no. When you sign a settlement with the union, I'll come to that, this thing. So now though we have labeled ourselves as an HRBP, we're supposed to learn business first, second connect, and then learn new labor code. And whenever you learn labor code, please develop an eyesight, please develop an insight, version, perception as to where is business and where is connect. Say, I am very sure when I've interacted with people, labor laws in isolation is never strengthening the management. Yes, no. Are you all with me? Or you have any difference of opinion? Can we go to the next? Okay. The next one is the speed of execution. You know why this bullet is important? all these 29 labor laws, if you sum up all the sections, there are 1300 sections. કેટલી કલમો ભણવાની છે આજે આપણે કેટલી કલમો ભણ્યા છે 1300 કલમ. And what is there in new labor code? It's 450 sections. So to an extent 65% work has reduced. 65% work has reduced. Now obviously it should increase the speed of execution after you capitalize the provisions of a new labor code in a right fashion. I am using this word, right fashion. So crystallizing your understanding is more important than understanding a new labor code. That's what I wanted to convey. That is what I want. Last 2-3 weeks back, I met one very prominent IIT professor. He, after a discussion of 20 minutes, he gave one word, really very important. Note it down. He said, in management, in IR, in legal, in HR, most important is clarity of thoughts. Clarity of thoughts. If your thoughts are clear, the purpose is very simple. The purpose becomes very achievable. And I'll give you an example. Would you like to experiment on this word? Would you like to do that? Should we do an experiment on clarity of thoughts? So why are we here? Why the HR is there in the business? Is to handle disputes. The normal is always continued, correct, no? The role gets provoken, the role gets enlarged when there are disputes. Yes, no? So I have a question to ask you, what is industrial dispute? See, I'm trying to focus on a fundamentals. Today, the definition of industrial dispute is worth 25 lines. આજની તારીખે ઔદ્યોગિક વિવાદની ડેફિનેશન 25 લીટીમાં સમજાવેલી છે. New labor code has concised that, compressed that into 6 lines. The life has become easy. Life has become, but now I am asking you, what is the definition? What is your understanding of industrial dispute? You can Google it. You can Google it. You can use ChatGPT. You can use any technology that you want. You can just tell me what is the meaning of industrial dispute. All those who have attended my programs, they know this very well. Because I start from fundamentals. If your fundamentals are not clear, I am very sure you cannot, your journey stopped there. And if I start explaining you section 33 condition of services remain unchanged during the pendency of period, it will go bouncer. I will not gather any mouse. Correct? No? So how many of you know condition of services remain unchanged during pendency of period? Pendency of any matters. It's really difficult to understand. First, to understand what is industrial. कोई जवाब મળ્યો તમને? What is industrial dispute? I know you know it. Okay, so please let other people. So let us try. Use technology and tell me the fundamentals of all 4 codes. All 4 codes क्या होगा? In case of a dispute, it is you and me who comes into picture. Correct? No? The matter will get tabled on my this thing, and then I am supposed to respond back to the person who is raising it. What is industrial dispute? Who would like to tell me? Please come ahead or no, hold a mic. Come this side. This chair is open. Come so that all can hear. Okay. So you were talking. I could understand from her narration that there are characters who are fighting, and there are matters on which there can be a fight. Am I right, ma'am? Is that what you're trying to explain? But how does the law prescribe? Now your role comes into picture. Is it employee? Are you all with me? Please differ. Oh, 1 minute. Because he knows the subject well. So who is that employee? Is it employee? I'm asking you a very fundamental question. Is it a dispute of employee? Is that right version? Is that right version? The answer is no. It is a dispute between employer and a workman. That is never an employee. Now you will ask question saying, "ये दो में क्या difference है?" Is that, are you a workman or are you an employee? No, the industrial dispute happens only for the purpose of Worker. Now it is not worker. Now it was workman. There is a difference between there are almost 13 definition of worker and workman. આજના મજૂર કાયદામાં 12-15 ડેફિનેશન છે. એમાં વર્કર છે, વર્કમેન છે, પ્રોટેક્ટેડ વર્કમેન છે, વેજ વર્કર છે. So they are all, it is not only a confusing matter for the audience sitting here, but it's for all who have not digested it well. The industrial dispute is a dispute between, there are two parties, three levels. Two parties, three levels. Which are the two parties? One is employer and second is workman. Now you get into details of grammar of workman. It is WORKMEN. So what is the meaning of MEN? It's a plural. So if more than one is, but what happens to a person who has an individual dispute? If you are aggrieved by something, are you not a part of industrial dispute? Fundamentals of a new labor code. 25 lines of a definition now brought to only 6 lines which you and me supposed to use and give management confidence that dispute aayega so you don't worry, I am there. I am supposed to handle crystallizing my understanding that I am supposed to remain focused on workman only. Is that a learning? Now you will have a question saying that what happens if it is an individual workman? Go to section 2A, big A. Okay. Now that lady gave a very good impression saying that there are matters pertaining to, there can be a fight between. Which are the matters? Slightly a complicated one. Which are all the matters where there can be a fight, there can be a dispute, there can be a conflict. Which are they? Note it down. It is employment, non-employment, terms of employment and condition of labor. These are all 4 areas which are otherwise reproduced in the new labor code. Okay. And the dispute of an individual workman could be on what subject? It is dismissal, discharge, retrenchment and termination. Are they all same, one and same word, or they are different? They are different what way? What way dismissal is different from discharge, and how discharge is different from termination, and how termination is different from retrenchment? I'm not here to confuse you. This is what a law says. Don't get confused, but try to find out the right answer and design the connect. That is what I am trying to tell you. Design the connect. That is what. And IR, legal and HR is a profession by itself. You cannot run the business the way you like. There are modus operandi, there are protocols, SOPs, laws governing how to drive HR, how to handle management. This is what the connect I am trying to tell you. Any question on this? And this is how we become business partner. It's not only by labeling. I started my career as a labor officer. Way back in that was those designations very, very common. So labor officer became welfare officer, became personal officer, then personal manager, and then HRD came into picture, and some wise men removed D out of HRD and now become HR and now become HR partner. So we traveled all the way. The history says now the new labor code came into picture. Okay. Now using all this history, connect and disconnect, we're supposed to redesign the strategy and understand how are we best as a business partner. Forget about HR. Are we on track? If not, please ask question. Okay. You're supposed to use my presence for enhancing your knowledge. And this can be done only if you ask me questions. 2 questions, then I'll go to the next slide. 2 questions, please. Now, what is the scale of implementation? What is the meaning of it? That question you can ask me. What is the size of implementation? So I have an example I'll give you. One is the speed of implementation. The job which I am doing in 1 day, now it should be done in half day. Okay, I'll demonstrate in these forum, this platform, the speed of execution. Okay, now the scale of execution is what? Today I'm an assistant manager, but I should do a work of manager. I'm a manager, I should do a work of a general manager. If I'm a general manager, I should do a job of a vice president. And if I'm a vice president, I should do a job of CEO. That is, scaling yourself high, provided if you digest law profession per se in a right perspective and you capitalize the provisions of law. Are we all together? Does it making? Am I making sense? If not, please ask question. The asking question is your prerogative, and I am here to respond back to each question that you raise. Okay. Now, what is the size of? What is the size? No, today I am handling 5 portfolios. I should handle 6, 7, 8, 9. I must expand my portfolio so that I do maximum work. Now you'll stand up and saying what happens to work-life balance. If I start doing this, then I'm supposed to. Do you think I should remain 24 hours in the office to improve size of the implementation? No. The reason is the sections have reduced. Your portfolio, your area of work has reduced the workload, and you can do much better. These are all different. These are all different perceptions which I have developed after talking to. Now simplification, it has already simplified. 14 definition of a wage now had become one, but there are so many confusions. So we are planning to run one specific program on how to understand, interpret, and capitalize provisions of wages to understand comp and ban. We call it comp and ban, no? So that is what it is. Now strategy with respect to labor laws and IR. Do we have a strategy? Do we have a manuals? Do we have SOPs? Do we have QOPs? How many of you have QOPs, SOPs with respect to IR and legal? I'll give you an example. I was interacting one very big department of some company, HR department of company. I said, how do you calculate gratuity? All 20 were differing. All 20 are the different version of how to calculate a gratuity. This is what a disconnect today. Okay, now the provision says in an industrial dispute, employment, non-employment, terms of employment, all put together is appointment letter. All 4 put together is appointment letter being issued to employee but not issued to workman. ये क्या है? You think any employee is left out without appointment letter? The answer is no. But there are masses where we have not, issued appointment letter. And the law gives you a format as well. Abhi SR mein appointment letter banao. So this is, an irony of HR, which reflects in the provisions of a labor code and disconnect. I have 10 more examples. Okay, what is subterfuge? He knows. Okay, what is subterfuge? Just Google it and tell me. Just Google it and tell me the meaning of subterfuge. This is very important. You see, each word which I have mentioned from 1 to 8 is starting from S. Starting from is only purpose of why I am doing is so that you remember at least 5 years out of 8 S. Okay. So what is that? Speed, scale, size, simplification, restructuring strategy, systematic manual, and subterfuge is a negative word. Could you get the word meaning of this word? What is that? So what is the meaning of this word? Sorry? Dishonest. Yes, very good. Way of behavior. What else? Sorry? Deception. Oh, very good. But, sorry? Come again? Avoid rules. Very good. If you want to understand these words, read one very good verdicts by Supreme Court in the year 2013, Bhilwara Doodh Utpadak Sahkari Mandali Limited versus Vinod Kumar, State of Rajasthan. The judiciary has used this word that all the HRIR people and whosoever is contesting for the justice, they are using this as a platform. What is the meaning? The meaning is I am trying to do something wrong, but I am trying to prove that the wrong which I am doing is not wrong and is right. It is subterfuge. Repeat karu Fari. You want me to repeat this again? I am doing something wrong, but I am trying to prove that the wrong which I am doing is not wrong, but it is right. ખોટું કામ કરીને એને સાચી પુરવાર કરવાની mentality that what he is saying is don't do that, sir. Therefore I have kept the 8th word as the negative word. So don't try to over squeeze the law and capitalize the provisions for the purpose of. I'll tell you 55 judgments I know which says that don't split and bifurcate the wages. 55 judgment. If you are interested in knowing, I'll give you a list. 55 times judiciary says that don't over squeeze the definition of wages. But we kept doing. The last judgment which came out was G4S security. How many of you have read? You have read? You have read the Bhilwara Duduppada Sakar, you have read this. So, you know why I'm saying this is an interpretation of law. No, matlab શું થાય? Now we first understand what is the meaning of present labor laws with reference to verdicts, then you understand importance of a new labor code. In isolation, it is a dangerous journey to stand up and start implementing labor code without creating backlog, without creating wherever we have subterfuged the law. So this is what exactly the purpose of this training. One question and then I'll move on to the next slide. One question. And that question should be not agreeing to what I am saying. Whatever I said, please disagree with me. One question, please. So I have a game. And the game, I'll continue with the program. And whosoever is ready to play this game, please raise hand. And the cycle time of getting result out of this game is 9 minutes. It's tried for 4 times. Who is ready to play this game? You will play? You are ready to play? You are ready to play? Now what you're supposed to do? What you're supposed to do is this. Okay. This is the second part of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. You find out the data on this. Starting from the year 19 till 2025. I'll explain you. Your time starts now, I'll tell you that. But where were we in the year 2019? What was the trillion economy? What was GDP? What was the EODB rank? We were what on largest economy? What was foreign direct investment? And where were we on Atmanirbhar? Who would like to do that? You can remove 2, 3, 2019 onwards. So why I'm saying 19? Any connect? I want you to connect my, because the wage code came in 19. The first time the real implementation of otherwise would have started in the year 2019. So the day the law got inserted in 21st, but it was there in the books. But we were there in the world map. Public is noticing that what India is doing with reference to this 6. So who would like to do that? Your time starts now. I want the data from 2019, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. And if you can do it projection 26 and 27, I'll be very happy. Time starts now. It is 7:19. Somebody should monitor a time. I'll go on to any question on this. Any input valuation on this? Okay. What is ROC? What is? I have a question to ask you. We already have replied. Return on? No, but for the purpose of HR, this is different. For the purpose of training, this is different. What normally happens in a training is when you go out of this room and come back, you'll forget. Is that the right perspective? Sachu Chen, correct? No, madam? When you go out of tomorrow, if I ask you what has happened in this training program, people have found blank. This is my experience of 35 years. So first R stands for how do you remember you have learned? How do you recall? And how do you reinforce? You can add as many R as you feel like comfortable. So first job is, this is how I have given you 8S, so that you remember at least 5S, 3S, 2S. And if you don't remember any S, remember Sanjay Suthar. Okay. Immediately stand up with the call saying that mane pela 8S ma cover na padi. I would like to recall. I'll help you out. Agalni baddi slide ma I have simplified to an extent that it helps you in remembering what was discussed in this room. Okay. Are we all together? 2 questions, then I'll move on to. We have a very limited time to move on. So what is ROC? What O stands for? Whatever I have remembered, what I have recalled, whatever I have reinforced. is to be operationalized. There is a huge value, there is a huge scope of implementation which we have not done in the history, which we have not done for over 100 years, I am saying. Over 100 years. So how do we operationalize? Now I have put everything into an operation. Now the C will come into picture. How do we capitalize? Do we make money out of R&O? That is what your and my job is. At the end of the day, in an olden days, there was a system called a Parcha system. How many of you know Parcha system? At the end of the day, a small chitti goes to a Malik. There are three bullets which are written. One is the collection today, what money I have collected in 24 hours. The second is what I have spent, and what I have earned. Then the boss, the owner will decide next line of action reading that three bullets. This is what capitalizing provisions, each one of us, whatever we are doing, has a monetary value in execution. This is, and the last E stands for making it easy. Let us not complicate that. Okay, this is what exactly an ease of doing. Any question on this? Now, the next one is 8C and 8S. Okay, this is what I have made specifically for you to remember. These slides will go to you. So you don't have to, you can very well recall this. Now, the next one is, which are all the areas where I am supposed to strengthen myself. I am supposed to do a lot of things. First is consolidate efforts. For example, you know what is labor code. But does your team knows? Does your boss knows? Is that chartered accountant knows? Does the operational people know importance of a new labor code? Is the consolidation of effort. You alone can't do that. I know a company where 7 vice presidents made a team and trying to diagnose as to what is there, what business is there inside, and how do we implement that. So consolidation of effort is more important than you and me alone knowing the labor code. Are we together? Now these particular things will get implemented provided if we have very good network and we have a role to play, a role of catalyst. We put everything together and then we sell our idea, we capitalize, we operationalize, we make money out of it. Okay. Then contractualization and casualization of a job is the sole heart of all labor laws, all labor code. Okay, competence is fundamental. What is fundamental? What is fundamentals of competencies? We talked about who is workman, we talked about the industrial dispute. These are all fundamentals which appears there in the labor code as well. There are certain provisions which are with certain modifications which are there in the labor code as well. So if you are alone reading labor code, it has no connect. It has no connect. You have to establish first on what is there today to connect, to chart a journey. How do my portfolio looks like when I implement? Okay, now compliances. Any question on this? Any question on compliances? We all do compliances, yes, no. So what do you mean by compliances? I'll give you one version. If I get one Excel sheet from social media or a checklist of a compliance, I'll be very happy. There's one version of, correct, no? So I'm always hunting Manegana ke side pe checklist moklo. But do you think is that checklist is a compliance of labor laws? Yes, no. Then what is the meaning of compliances? Oh, how do you fulfill this? I'll give you a worst example to connect compliance to. A contractor supervisor, he manages compliances of 4 contractors. Is that a compliance? He is managing, no? एक supervisor 4 contract compliance करे छे, yes ke no? Obviously. And he completes all inspection within 15-20 minutes. Is that a compliance? No, I'm trying to understand your version of compliance to understand how do you understand the compliance under new labor code. Okay, so what is compliance? So what is compliance? Sorry, come again. Yes, so there are the documents of implementation. That is compliance. Okay, but where is it available? I used to submit compliances report to the board of director every 3 months comprises of almost 70 pages. How many of you signed the document? Your bosses would have signed. The bosses will ask you, Amasu thayu. Should I write yes or no? I used to submit every quarter to the board of directors. That also is a compliance. One compliance is of 15 checkpoints. One compliance is of 70 pages to the board of directors. Which compliance is right? Different ways and ways of looking at what exactly the compliance is. Okay, there are almost 70% reduction in compliance with respect to. Yeah, please. You got the answer? Got the answer of what? For all. Oh, very good. Oh, please clap for him. Come here. Come clap for him. You see, we were trying to understand what was the trillion, what was the GDP, where were we on? Where were we on? Ease of doing business. Where were we on? The world map of our largest economy. So he got the answer. Clap for him. What is the time you have taken? 7 to 8 minutes, and he has reduced 1 minute of the thing. It's a track of my previous experiment. This is a clap for him. Excellent. Okay, I'll give you certain. Yeah, please share the data with him. See, his data may be wrong. This is subject to correction. What is important here is putting efforts. Putting efforts is more important than what he is sharing. I know the other lady also is ready. You are also ready, ma'am? Okay, very good. So you didn't attempt. You got it? You got GDP only. And who has got it? I have tried this experiment for almost 4 times, and the cycle time I shared with you is 9 minutes. Now he has done it in 8 minutes. I am waiting for somebody. You can use this platform. You can use this game and go back to your place and play with the team. And mane ko tamare kitlo time thayo. This is what a speed of execution. I have not gone into details of size and scale. Size and scale, I have yet not gone into this. There are experiments where the time does not permit. Okay, we can have one full day program and do experiments of how do I work. હું કામ કેવી રીતે કરું છું ફેક્ટરીમાં. That is a self-assessment method of my own performance. Correct? Yes, sir, please.
So almost we have covered 4 topics. One is trillion in terms of turnover. Second one is GDP, which I have taken the photo from that PPT. So here is the data. Almost trillion is in 2019 2.8. Now we are in 2025 4.5. See, almost 30% we have covered. And in terms of FDI, in 2019 15 million, $15 million. Now 2025 in first quarter $26 million.
My God. So we are traveling very fast. We were on a world map. We were 284. Correct me if I'm wrong. It was 2.8 trillion million dollar with respect to business in the year 2019. And where are we today? We have almost crossed 4 trillion. Correct me, no?
Yes.
So I had a discussion with somebody who's a finance head. બહુ સાદો સીધો પ્રશ્ન પૂછ્યો, ટ્રિલિયનમાં કેટલા ઝીરો હોય? Who would like to attempt? This is what business is. First you understand कि ट्रिलियનમાં ઝીરો કેટલા હોય. Who would like to attempt? Who would like to tell me? I know you won't be able to know when a finance man or not. કેટલા ઝીરો હોય ટ્રિલિયનમાં? Who would like to attempt? Google it, no, fast, 1 સેકન્ડમાં જવાબ મળે. કેટલા? 12, exactly. And if you convert that into dollars, it is rupees. You are saying rupees. I am saying dollars. Dollars had 2 more zeros. So it is 14 zeros. First, for you and me to understand, before understanding and getting into intricacies of a new labor code, first understand, am I contributing to trillion? એમાંથી એક ઝીરો તો તમારો મારો હોઈ શકે છે? Yes, no. At least we won't reduce that zero. Let me go into slightly a different directions. Are we together? Are you all enjoying? Is that something different program? Yes, no. It is expanding your thinking horizon. Your circle is getting very large in just 8 minutes. Is giving. Please, please,
Okay,
please.
okay.
I am just trying to
That's
interpret your
okay.
data
No,
to
no
connect.
issue. There is two remaining topic. Second one is EODB, ease of doing business. In 2019, we have 77 rank.
Yes,
Okay.
across 190 countries.
Yes.
કેટલી country માં આપણો 77મો નંબર આવ્યો? 190 countries. So 190 countries are in a queue to prove themselves that I'm good in ease of doing business, and we were on 77. Is that a good equation? Look at 25 data.
In 25, almost we are near 34.
34. Okay. Now the underlined message, તમારા કાન અને વાળ અથર થવા જોઈએ. The reason is this is without labor code. These all things which he is talking, એમાં labor code નું કોઈ role નથી, because it was implemented on 21st of November. It was. So this is how the speed of execution, scale of execution, and the size of execution after learning new labor code should improve without subterfuge. I'm just putting one word here. Without manipulation, એની સાથે કોઈ પણ પ્રકારના છેડા કર્યા વગર, I am using the સ્પષ્ટ ગુજરાતી to understand the importance of a new labor code, and then go for ROC. Remember, operationalize, capitalize, and make it easy. The life is now become easy to an extent of not reading 700 sections. The government is helping you and me to reduce your work. Go ahead.
Yes.
Is it
the
over?
last one is largest economics. In
Okay.
2019, around about 5 to 6. Now we are the 4.
Fourth one, we have already
Fourth.
crossed fourth, I think.
Or the I think yes. In 2024 is near to 4. Now we are crossed the 4.
Yes, so clap for him. It's taken. I have gift waiting for you outside. Okay, I'll do that. Okay. Any question on this discussion of last 1 hour? I would expect at least 2-3 questions so that I understand I am on a right track. So my job is what? My job today is not. We have charted this topic with a lot of deliberation, saying that it is not only a profession, it has a lot of connection which has disconnected over 100 years, and understand the perspective of business. કાયદામાં છે શું? How do I capitalize my thinking, expand thinking horizon, and give a confidence to a management? Yes, I can deliver better now. Yes, I can deliver better. I can do a better job for the company. This is what management is. Yesterday I had a program, and there are 100 people. We talked about atypical workforce connecting to new labor. What is atypical workforce? A very technical question. What is atypical workforce? I have a second question to ask you to accelerate your thinking is, which are all the categories mentioned in Industrial Employment Standing Orders Act? नहीं खबर भाई. Just tell me who knows this answer. Maybe wrong one. આ પરીક્ષામાં આપણે માર્ક્સ આપવાની જરૂર નથી. I'm just trying to understand. Have you read the categorization of work? No, your certification. Yeah. Please. Please. Yeah. Okay. He is very near to an answer. There are 6 category of workman. 6 categorization of workman in an industrial standing orders. First is permanent workman. Second is the probationer. Third is the budley. Fourth is casual. Fifth is temporary. Sixth is apprentices. And seventh is fixed term employment. Seventh is બધા હા કે છે પણ કોઈ મને. So seventh is, now let us have 2 minutes discussion of fixed term employment. How many of you are using that category? Just raise hand. How many of you have fixed term employment? Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. आधा हाथ ऊंचा मत करो या पूरा करो या फिर. So fixed term employment is not a new product in code. तो एना roots क्या छे? Further, I'm just trying to enlighten you. It has roots in the year 1984. It has roots in the year 1984. કેટલા વર્ષ થયા? 41 years. 25 ચાલે છે. 84. 41 years થી ત્રણ જ લોકોએ FTs ઇમ્પ્લિમેન્ટ કર્યું છે. So this is what exactly remembering, operationalizing, capitalizing, and making it easy. Can we not use? We should use and capitalize, operationalize the provision which is there since 1984 known as Lucky Law. It is section 200BB. The section BB was inserted in the year 1984 to section 200. What is that? Termination of workman due to non-renewal of contract. And it's a definition of retrenchment. It is a definition of retrenchment, slightly glorified, very nicely articulated, produced there in the code. But any vachcheni પણ journey બહુ મોટી છે. What is that journey? In the year 2003, when we declared some areas SEZ, these clause was inserted under the definition known as the termination. There was a section 2R in the Gujarat rules was inserted in the year 2003. In the year 2006, we came out with a specific notification with the definition of fixed term employment, that this is what fixed term employment. In the year 2018, central government notified. I know you know this. So 2018, central government designed the provision, the articulation of fixed term employment, and it is now in the code. The provision which we have not implemented since 84, after learning, we have the knowledge, but it is not operationalized. So what is an operational value of a new labor code? I have a question to ask you. Is it not an alarming situation? Is it not an ironic situation? Yes, no. See, we're trying to get into understand what should I do after reading a new code. There are provisions which exist years together. Long history it has, but with zero operational value. With zero operational value. You have seen only 3-4 people have implemented fixed term employment. Now, I have designed 7 manuals as to how do you operate fixed term employment. You suddenly cannot stand up reading 7 lines to start implementing, appoint people on a fixed term employment, start doing whatever you think fit. No, it is not like that. You have to convert each provisions of law into manual, SOPs, QOPs, protocols, have your team nicely educated, and then have an experiment on 2, 3, 5, 10 pages based on business requirement, then you standardize your process. This is what is the purpose of today's program. I am very sure only reading book will never help you. Will never help you. I have seen people bogging down only after reading the book. But it has a lot of operational and capital value in what we are doing. Any question on this? And then we'll move on to the next. So the contract manufacturing contractor. Now this is going to be a major avenues open for you and me. Why it is so? 5 વર્ષ પહેલા લાઇસન્સની મર્યાદામાં ચેન્જ થયું ને, 20 has become 50. Now it is very easy for a contractor to work at the with the numbers called 48 and 49. So no license is required. It's the ease of doing business. There are many states who have changed us. Okay, now the retrenchment which is at 100 has become 300. Correct. Now your model standing orders are not applicable up to 300. This gives you what? What do you mean by model standing orders? It has a lot of operational value with respect to terms of employment of people. Terms of employment. So each provisions of a new labor code and a new labor laws has old labor laws and a new labor code, a lot of operational value, management strength lying inside, and you are supposed to capitalize that. Upyog karvano che in a right fashion. Use that particular law for strengthening my management skill. Any question on this? Now the last one is up to 1st to 7. You have seen again all C's. Starting from C. The last one is what? We have not yet spoken about creativity. આ બધું routine છે. Now where is the creativity? Now you and me are supposed to, you get a different marks on in your PMS provided if you've done some creative. I'm sure you're doing like that. So where is the creativity in that? Actually, 1 to 7 is, is a routine job. Now where is the creativity? I'll give you 4 examples. I conducted an inquiry which is of 1 page. How many of you are ready to believe this? Domestic inquiry of only 1 page. 400 inquiries I have completed. एक ज बार हमारी inquiry पूरी. This is an ultimate creativity. Ultimate creativity. Second example of it's zero cost VRS. VRS doesn't happen today. There are many companies with VRS today, but it is zero cost VRS. Third is 10 years pehla we have removed probation from the appointment letter. So I want one reaction of somebody that what is the use of probation? What is practical use of probation? A person can be a non-performer even after he is confirmed. Sachu khotu. No, I can be a non-performer even if I am confirmed. So I have a doubt on your assessment system, not on me. I have doubts on the system which I have created. So I have removed with taking management consent and an input from an advocate. Advocate also said, "No, kya matlab hai yaar? What do you do with probation period? You can say me goodbye even if I'm confirmed employee. Yes, no. Obviously, yes. You can say, hey, goodbye, thanks for working with us. This is your cover and all the best for your new life. I've done it so many times. Yes, you would have even done it. This is third. This is fourth one is what? That you will do. I will not tell you. Okay. So I want somebody's reaction on what creativity can be done in present labor laws. Forget about a new code. What creative things you can do. Think it over. It's not an instant coffee like. You have to think in a slightly different direction and then get it operated. Now what is next is now scale of implementation. These we have seen, I think. Okay. Now new competence is required. Now when you start reading in the new labor code, I am very sure you cannot continue with an old competency that you have. How many of you can write complaint? What do you write in that? You have to write something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 paragraphs, 3 paragraphs. You have to write something. Number one, you have to write something and you have to guide somebody as to what do you write in that. How many of you have gone to police station? They don't accept your complaint. Then he writes his own language. Then he writes his own language and converts that into an FIR. Is that right or wrong? Right? No, that's an art of writing. That is an old competency, but that is an old competency as a life of almost 100 years. So what new competencies are required? I'll give you a list. This is a question which is hanging. Okay, but I'll answer to that. You have to unlearn. This is what somebody said to which I didn't agree. This is not a positive, a bullet which I would like to tell you. So what you are not supposed to unlearn. You're supposed to relearn what is there today to connect to a new labor law. Okay, and then relearn whatever is there which is 100 years old, supposed to read 1, 2, 3, 4 and understand what is an industrial dispute today, which is enumerated in 25 lines, which is 5 lines, 7 lines today. So this is what then ROC implementation. Any question on this? Now implementation of basic 5 steps. Carry out feasibility report. Which are all the sections which you can immediately report. You can implement tomorrow. You can do it tomorrow. There are certain provisions we can do day after tomorrow. Then you can do it. We can prepare a proposal, study capability assessment of HR, who are all in my team, who are ready for who can convert new labor codes into an implementation strategy. This is what is required. Now dependency test. I have administered this dependency test on 2 people and they said, sir, no, मैं आपके बिना काम नहीं कर सकता हूँ. I need these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people to carry out this implementation. So if you think this is nothing but Atmanirbhar, are you dependent on somebody? The first equation. The second equation is who are all dependent on me? If I am a resource person for the others, then I am doing a right job. And if I am dependent on the others, then I'm not doing my job. So a day will come, you'll have to be independent. Reform strategy. Discussion with CEO, top management, C. So there are almost 30, 40 stakeholders who are, in addition to me, will interpret the law and will confront with me, saying that what you have understood is not right. And what I have understood is completely different than what you have understood. An example is the union. An example is a union. An example is a contractor. He will say, "Nahi, sahab, aao nahi, ouch karwa." Correct? No? So this is how understand what is now improve your performance and transform the whole government. Any question on this? Any question on this? No, no questions? This side? Okay. Now the next one is balancing HR and IR focus. Now you will find a lot of HR people around today. But there are no IR people. Okay, does not mean IR is not there today. Any question on this? Any question on this? HR and IR? No. So knowing labor laws is the first step of implementation of new labor code. Second step is you know verdicts. You know what is verdict is the right interpretation of a law. You and me interpret the law in a different fashion, but not authentic. So who is authorized person to interpret the law and whose interpretation is final and binding? Court, obviously, but it is not me. I am subject to correction by judicial scrutiny. Yes, no. So when I read labor laws, first I must read what does the judiciary say. Third is there are certain provisions which are applicable to you and me, which is there in the constitution as well. Labor laws has changed, constitution has not changed. So I must derive certain inference from the constitution and the facts and circumstances which I have developed after learning labor laws, verdicts, constitution. What exists there in my factory is very important for me to chart a journey for implementation of connect to a new labor code. Labor code में ऐसे implementation 100% नहीं होगा. I am convinced. Okay, this is the ground that one should create and then try to learn, perform new performance standard. Now 5C. Should I explain you this or are we running short of time? Yes, no. So I'll skip this. I'll skip this? No. You want to learn this? Okay, very good. How many of you want to learn this 5C? Okay. The first is consolidation, which I have already explained you. The second one is chances, means opportunities for improvement. Opportunities for implementation, which otherwise we have not implemented. Like FTC, industrial dispute, वगैरह वगैरह. There are multiple. I have not issued appointment letter. Though it is not a part of the labor laws, but I am supposed to implement. Okay. What is perennial? We all know. But there is no definition of non-perennial, which is now available today known as core. And in addition to definition of core, there is a definition, the prescription of non-core activities. This is a very positive side on my part. Okay. The third one is cost. How do I reduce employee cost? How do I rationalize the cost? Okay. Now the last one is constructively support unions to be better business partner. And now you'll have a question saying that Ajay union kya hai? There are no unions today. Okay. So how many of you have dealt with union? Okay, 1, 2, only 2, 3. So what happens when there are no unions? What happens when there are no... The question was answered way back in the year 1984. Again, all the amendments which came, I'm just trying to connect answer to the provisions of a law. The industrial disputes are of a two type. Kitla prakarna chhe? One is existing and second is apprehended. The dispute which does not exist today, it may come. So the union is not there, union may come. So you have to apprehend and then start designing the line of action. Okay. And commercial connect of NLC to my balance sheet, my portfolio, and this is how you must remember. Okay. Now, what is there in new labor code, which is otherwise very difficult? I have given you certain examples. So far, what I have done is I have focused on the competencies, I have focused on a connect, I have focused on a disconnect, I have focused on fundamentals, I have focused on a business, I have given you different perspective of how do we implement which is already disconnected, and then how do I reconnect to the provisions which are already there. Today it is what? Today the labor code is also there, and today's labor laws also. These transition will continue for certain months based on what government decides. Okay, so my area of concern is wages, union, compliances. Okay, I'm supposed to do compliances. Okay, then I'm supposed to face inspections as well. These are all major provisions of new labor code. I'm giving an example. Workforce planning, core and non-core. Implementation का scope क्या है? Which are all the areas where I am supposed to make a design strategy and write down, convert that into priority 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then start implementing. If not implementation, then start planning. That what will happen in the month of January, February, March. What am I supposed to do may be wrong today, but I am at least prepared. I have geared up myself, connecting all the provisions to the implementation part. Okay, the social security, manpower, these are all strikes and lockout arising out of and in the course of employment. Have you heard this word? Where does it appear? Okay, you know this. This is a prominent and heart of two laws known as ESI and EC. The whole of an act is driven by this. A duty of employer. What is it that employer is supposed to do? It is now prescribed under the law, and it is prescribed in the labor laws as well. The last one is alarming. Exemption of employer from liability in certain cases. There are spelling mistakes, please avoid. Okay, so which are all the areas where employer can escape from his responsibility and put those responsibility onto you is a provision of the law. So this is all, these provisions, a lot of use in HR. Okay, so this is what exactly my submissions to you in this respect. If there are questions, I'll entertain. Otherwise, thanks very much for tolerating me for so long time. Thank you very much. Thank you. So questions. I would expect minimum 5 questions. Yeah, please. Come here. Come here. Hold a mic so that mic is there. Okay, this is mic. Use this.
Sir, one question is right now in my mind. What is compliance meaning in labor law versus code?
Okay. See, compliance today is to an extent of maybe it goes into hundreds, but now it has reduced to an extent of 70%. Okay. If you read the sections by sections and code by code, there are specific chapters provided in the code which talks about what returns, what files you're supposed to maintain, what records you are supposed to maintain. So use that particular sections for understanding what is it I am supposed to do minimum. Otherwise, all 450 sections are compliant. You simply cannot run away saying that nahi, ye main nahi karunga, chalega. So read that, create your own notes rather than depending on what social media says. And I would like to tell you one underlined message saying that you go for social media, but get yourself rectified. There are probabilities of you getting misguided. Probabilities, I am not saying sure. But first thing you and me supposed to do to understand compliance is read the book. A best source of learning is read a book. And then create a notes on what she is saying compliance. Any more questions? Question, please. कोई प्रश्न पूछो तो जरा interaction. Last 10 minutes. We have only 10 minutes to do this job. Yeah, please. Yeah, ma'am.
What is the provisions and the importance of HR and IR, specifically having the financial impact?
Say HR, I'll tell you, I'll give you an example. For example, you're working in a company where you have 1,000 people. Okay, so HR specifically focuses on 100 people. and 900 people is the part of IR. Clear? This is what is the difference between HR and IR. Number one. Number two is HR has minimum stakeholders, IR has multiple stakeholders. HR has less complications, IR has maximum complications. HR, you can get rid of people very fast, IR, not possible. HR, you don't have a union, IR, you have a union. HR, there is no government inspection, IR, there is a lot of inspection. The major difference between the two. Okay, you can extrapolate and gather few more bullets to understand the difference between HR and IR. Number one. Number two is, I was interacting a person like you and I raised one question saying that, is that labor laws applicable to HR? Is that labor laws applicable to HR? What was the answer, you know? શું હું તમને પૂછું છું આ પ્રશ્નનો જવાબ મને આપશો? Is that labor law applicable to HR? IR is yes. So which are they? કયા કાયદાઓ HR ને લાગુ પડે છે? કયા? કયા કયા? You see, the provisions are very clear. Labor laws, there are 4 labor laws which are applicable to HR. Is which one? કયો કાયદો લાગુ પડે? Employee compensation. Because the title itself says employee state insurance, employees provident fund. So the name itself speaks that it is applicable to, in addition to workman, it is applicable to employees as well. This is a basic question. You can dig into more and get yourself convinced. Okay. Any one more question and then we'll put an end to this. Yeah, please, Hardik.
In current scenario, we see that there is no union and inactive. So after a code, what are the repercussions?
See, the repercussions is the one new provisions which has come in Industrial Relation Code is recognition of trade union. Okay, and a person who has never handled union will not be able to implement this provision, and this is rest of assured. The reason being, it requires a lot of IR competencies to implement recognition of trade union. IR competencies, because when you know how to deal with union, you recognize union. Though there are number games involved in that. Okay. Now I am saying this because if you see, if you have 1 union, 2, 3, 4 unions, the workman is very smart. He will register himself in all 4 unions. Okay, લવાજમ બધે ભરીને આવે 100 રૂપિયા ભરવાના હોય છે વર્ષમાં એકવાર 100-500 રૂપિયા. How do you verify number games? Number one. Number two is unfair labor practices in the schedule, in the definition of 2RA and schedule 5 and item number in the management prescription says that you are not supposed to get into number game of union. If you influence union with respect to numbers, then it is an unfair labor practice for which you're supposed to have an IR skills to balance both recognition and unfair labor practice. This is what is going to provoke unionism. This is what I have told. I have conducted 7 programs for union. So I gave them a lot of input on how unions will get strengthened. This is number one. Number two, the provision which says that for the purpose of registration of union, you require 7 representatives and either 100 or 10% of the membership. Now tell me, if I am the union having 98 members, what will I do? હું તમારી પાસેથી મેમ્બર ખેંચીશ મારા 100 કરવા so that I get recognition. Correct? No? So there is going to be an inter-union rivalry. I'll hunt for membership. You won't allow me to do that. So you are also an equally competent union guy. And I'm trying to hunt your members. You're trying to hunt my members. This is what is going to complicate. This is apprehended disputes, which the lawmakers has envisaged in the year 1984, inserted apprehended dispute in addition to existing. તમારા પ્રશ્નનો જવાબ 84 માં મળેલ છે આપણને. So when you say there are no unions, it's a statement, but it is not a statement of facts. There are unions. We do exist in it is not there because the age of your industry is below 10 years or 20 years. You look at the industry which has an age of 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 60 years. There are multiplicity of unions. The union do exist. And it will start flourishing when the recognition matters, membership matters, unfair labor practice will come into picture. And all these number games are reflected in GRC and WC as well. You know what is GRC and WC? What is GRC? Grievance Redressal Committee was brought into a statute in the year 2013, but how much does it exist on the floor today? The answer is there with you. કેટલી કમિટીમાં GRC છે? just હાથ ઉપર કરો. નહીં ને? So this is a disconnect we are supposed to again reconnect. There are multiple provisions. I have a big list where we are disconnected, trying to connect to this. And this is what is an implementation of a new labor code. New labor code is not going to be a turnkey project. આજે આવડી ગયું ને કાલે કામ ચાલુ કરો. No, it will continue for longer time till the time I acquire different skills and different competencies and right perspective of understanding a new labor code. Thank you very much. This was the last question. One more question I'll entertain, then we'll call it a day. If not, we will end the program here. So any feedback on how the day went? So thank you very much, friends. Yeah, please.
Consolidated 29 laws is consolidated into the 4 codes, but as I gone through the 4 labor codes, almost everything is cut, copy and paste. So just HR's work, as mentioned you in the beginning of the session, that yes, my work is reduced because now I do not have to maintain the hundreds of register, only few of register, few of compliances. So how it will turn the industry and current scenario?
Yes, you have a very right question. There are certain new concept which has come in the new labor code. Okay. Now the new concept is wages. I think you know it. How many definitions we have of wages today? Just tell me numbers. I'll be very happy to answer back to the question. How many wages definition we have today? Oh, 10 or more. So 10 is converted now to one simplification. It's a new thing. Ever new thing which I have ever understood. And when you understand, 1.5 pages definition is more simpler than 14 definitions that we have today. Are you with me? So there are 10 definition of a workman is now one. Oh, now it's only one. The worker and workman has become one only. Which are the other? There are 27 definitions, otherwise uniform between and amongst either 4 or 3 codes. This is an ever new. Recognition of a trade union. Is that a new concept? Yes, it is a new concept. It does not exist it exists only in 3 states of India. The rest of the states are these concepts. This is very new. You start working, enlisting all these provisions which are newly brought in the new labor code. You'll be happy to know that there are list bahut lambu chhe. Okay, there are certain provisions where there are certain provisions which are clubbed. Which are clubbed? The definition is industrial dispute. Industrial dispute ni બે definitions. 2K and 2A big one. Now club to one. The definition of industrial dispute is now brought within the purview of wages code, which was not there earlier. Industrial dispute ni definition kya છે? ID Act માં છે. Wages code માં નહોતી. Now it is brought into. This is a new thing. Okay. So any more questions? I have a long list. We'll continue for 1 more hour to have a deliberation. Any more questions or we'll close? Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you. Okay, very good. Thank you. So I wanted to